so we're about to do a phone session. So this will be just like if you were on Skype and the picture went down, or you've got phone. So we'll pretend we're doing phone, and you can't see each other. Okay, but you can hear me all right, right? Yeah. All right. So I'm ringing you, and you answer the phone. And I say, okay, Lisa, so did you get my email with the diagram of all the points that I sent you during the week?
Yes.
Great. So I just want to run through them briefly first and make sure that you've got them okay. So the first point that we tap on is the karate chop point, and that's that fleshy part underneath the little finger, as if you're going to go karate chop on a table or something. And you just tap usually with your dominant hand on that with all your fingers. So have you got that?
Yes, I've got that.
Great. All right, the next one is the top of the head. So right in the middle of the top of the head, as if you're a puppet on a string. You've got that?
Yes.
Okay. And now if you go to the start of the hairs of the eyebrow above your nose, so that's called the eyebrow point. Got that?
Got that.
Then we've got the corner of the eye. So on the bone of the corner of the eye. You got that?
Yep.
And then the bone under the pupil. That's called under the eye.
Yes.
And then we go to the fleshy part under the nose. That's under the nose.
Got that.
And then the chin point is the crease of the chin under your lip, your bottom lip.
Yep.
It's that crease. And then the collarbone point is if you follow your collarbone along, and you'll find under your throat there's two little knobbles. Have you got the knobbles?
Yes, I've got those.
Okay, if you come down about an inch slightly diagonally out, there's two little hollows. Can you feel those?
Yep.
Okay, so what I usually do is use one hand and use my thumb and my fingers to get both those points. You've got that?
Yes.
And you might feel a very, like a going through your body when you tap there, that vibration.
Yep.
And then you can go under your arm, about 4 inches under the armpit into the rib cage.
Yep.
So you got that?
Yep.
Okay, so they're the main points that we'll be using. I will endeavour to say each point before I say, but if you get muddled because I've forgotten to say one of the points or something, just say to me, where are we up to?
Yep.
And we'll start now. So I want you to just start with the karate chop point and tell me what it is that you want to work on today. Oh, before we start, have you got tissues and water with you?
Yes.
Good. Okay, let's start.
Okay, even just sitting here, imagining.
Yes. Imagine what we want to work on. What are you feeling in your body?
Oh, tummy and tightness or shortness of breath.
Okay, and what is that out of 10?
Oh, it's 9. Both. Tummy.
Okay. All right, even though I've got this anxiety in my tummy and tightness of breath in my chest.
Even though I've got this anxiety in my tummy and tightness
of breath in my chest.
Tightness of breath in my chest.
And it's about 9 out of 10.
It's about 9 out of 10.
I accept myself.
I accept myself.
And all this anxiety.
And all this anxiety.
And I'm letting my body know.
And I'm letting my body know.
That I'm thanking it for protecting me.
I'm thanking it for protecting me.
But I want to release it and let it go.
And I want to release it and let it go.
Even though I've got this 9 out of 10 anxiety.
Even though I've got this 9 out of 10 anxiety.
And I feel it in my stomach.
And I feel it in my stomach.
And it's a tightness in my chest.
And a tightness in my chest.
I accept myself and my body.
I accept myself and my body.
Deeply and completely.
Deeply and completely.
So top of the head, this tightness in my chest.
This tightness in my chest.
Eyebrow, all this anxiety in my chest.
All this anxiety in my chest.
Corner of the eye, I can feel it in my tummy.
I can feel it in my tummy.
Under the eye, all this anxiety.
All this anxiety.
Under the nose, processing and releasing the anxiety.
Processing and releasing the anxiety.
Chin, all the way down to my tummy.
All the way down to my tummy.
Collarbone, and in my chest.
And in my chest.
Processing and releasing the tightness in my chest.
Processing and releasing the tightness in my chest.
Under the arm. Letting my tummy and my chest know it's safe to release the anxiety.
Knowing my tummy. Letting my tummy and my chest know that it's safe to release the anxiety.
So take a deep breath. and have a sip of water and just tune into that anxiety now and let me know if it's come down.
It's come down, and then straight away thought about what I want to work on, and it's
tapping on the karate chop point, just tuning into that. So it's come down, the anxiety's come down, but you're tuning into what you want to work on.
Yep.
And what's coming up for you in your body when you're tuning in.
Kind of like a heavy something in the bottom of pit of my stomach.
Yep. So that heaviness in the pit of your stomach.
As I imagine.
Yeah, as you imagine what you want to work on. What is it if it was an object? In the pit of your stomach.
Like a blob of like that sort of heavy, what's that stuff that kids play with, like
Flapper.
like not but jelly-like. It's kind of like slime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what is it out of 10?
7 or 8.
So it's 7, 8, or 8, and it's like, what colour was it?
Grey.
Grey.
Dark grey.
A dark grey, jelly-like slime material in the pit of your belly. Yeah. Okay, so even when I imagine, so tapping on the karate chop point, even when I imagine thinking about what I want to tap on, it feels like this grey, slimy, what is it? Blur in the pit of my stomach. I accept myself. And this feeling. Deeply, and I accept myself deeply and completely. Even when I imagine what I want to tap on. I feel this slimy grey blur in the pit of my stomach. I accept myself. And thank my stomach for holding on to it. But I'm open and willing to process it now. Top of the head. This grey, dark grey, slimy blur in the pit of my stomach. Eyebrow. I want to release it. Corner of the eye. Thanking my stomach for holding on to it. Under the eye, but I want to process and release it. Under the eye, under the nose. All this anxiety. Chin. Just thinking about what I want to work on. Collarbone, just imagining what I want to work on. Processing, releasing the grey, dark grey, slimy blur in the pit of my stomach.
Processing and releasing this dark grey slimy blur in the pit of my stomach.
Under the arm. Processing and releasing it, it's safe now.
Processing and releasing, it's safe now.
Even to imagine what I want to work on. So take a deep breath and have a sip of water. So what's happening for you there now? Just tapping on the karate chop point and tuning into imagining what you want to work on. What's there for you now?
It's much better.
Much better?
Yep.
Okay. So can you tell me what you want to work on now?
Yep, and then I just felt this rush going up my chest. It's as I imagine that I'm going to be the one in my business partnership.
Okay. So that rush that's coming up through your chest.
Yep.
As you imagine that you're going to be the one in the business partnership to what?
To make the calls, because that's it's not her gig.
Okay. So even though I've got this rush that's coming up through, is it the centre of your where did you say it was coming up from?
Just kind of up my coming up my chest to my throat.
So even though I've got this rush of energy coming up through my chest and my throat. When I realise it's got to be me that's got to make the phone calls. In the business partnership.
But maybe it doesn't even have to be. Maybe it's just that I feel like it has to be. Do you know why?
Yeah, I feel like it has to be me.
I feel like it has to be me.
It's not her gig.
It's not her gig, maybe.
I accept myself in this rush of energy.
I accept myself in this rush of energy.
Top of the head. This rush of energy coming up my chest and into my throat.
This rush of energy coming up my chest and into my throat.
Eyebrow. When I think about it's got to be me.
When I think about it's got to be me.
Corner of the eye. It's got to be me in the business partnership.
It's got to be me in the business partnership.
Under the eye. It's got to be my gig.
It's got to be my gig.
Under the nose. To make all the phone calls.
To make all the phone calls.
Chin point. All that responsibility.
All the responsibility.
Does that land on you?
Yeah.
Okay. Collarbone. All that responsibility. It's up to me.
So all that responsibility. It's up to me.
Under the arm. That rush of responsibility. That energy coming up my chest and throat.
That rush of responsibility. That rush of energy coming up my chest and my throat.
Top of the head. All that energy.
All that energy.
Eyebrow. All that anxiety.
All that anxiety.
Corner of the eye. That anxiety coming up my chest into my throat.
That anxiety coming up my chest and my throat.
It's got to be me that makes the phone calls.
It's got to be me that makes the phone calls.
Under the nose. It feels like it's got to be me.
It feels like it's got to be me.
Chin point. It's not her gig. It must be mine.
It's my gig.
It's my gig. All that responsibility.
All that responsibility.
Collarbone. All that responsibility. It's got to be my gig.
All that responsibility. It's got to be my gig.
It feels like it's got to be my gig.
It feels like it's got to be my gig.
Under the arm. Releasing all the anxiety.
Releasing all the anxiety.
Thinking it's got to be my gig.
Thinking it's got to be my gig.
So take a deep breath and have some water. Okay, so what's there for you now? Just tapping on the karate chop point and tuning in. When you feel like it's got to be your gig, it's up to you, it's your responsibility.
Well, that's down, but there was a part of me that flashed and felt guilty that I was even thinking that she wasn't going to do it or couldn't do it, and it was my responsibility, and the idea of maybe her watching this and her going, well, don't you think I'm capable?
Okay, right. So where do you feel that in your body, that guilt?
Chest.
Okay, even though I've got this chest guilt.
Even though I've got this chest guilt.
When I think about my business partner watching this.
When I think about my business partner, beautiful friend watching this.
And her thinking, what makes you think I can't do this?
And her thinking, what makes you think I can't do this?
And the feeling that I was taking on the responsibility, it had to be me.
And the feeling I was taking on the responsibility that it had to be me.
All my guilt.
All my guilt.
That I feel in my chest.
That I feel in my chest.
I'm open and willing to release it and let it go.
I'm open and willing to release and let it go.
Thanking my chest for holding on to the guilt.
Thanking my chest for holding on to the guilt.
Thinking that it had to be my gig and she couldn't do it.
Thinking it had to be my gig and she couldn't pick up the phone and make these calls.
All my guilt.
All my guilt.
All my responsibility.
All my responsibility.
All my anxiety.
All my anxiety.
I'm open and willing to release it now.
I'm open and willing to release it now.
Top of the head. All my guilt thinking she couldn't do it.
All my guilt thinking she couldn't do it.
Eyebrow. I wonder why I thought that.
I wonder why I thought that.
Corner of the eye. I wonder where I thought it was my responsibility.
I know why, can I?
Yes.
So I keep tapping. So I was in sales for a long time in real estate.
Yes.
And it's just kind of been this underlying knowing or expectation that that's what I'm comfortable doing, and that's...
So move to under the eye. I've always done the sales.
I've always done the sales.
Under the nose. I've come from a sales background.
I've come from a sales background.
Chin point. So I assumed I'd be doing it.
So I assumed I'd be doing it.
Collarbone. And I took on that responsibility.
And I took on that responsibility.
Having come from that background.
Having come from that background, even though I didn't like it.
Even though I didn't like it.
Even though I never liked picking up the phone.
I've never liked, under the arm, I've never liked picking up the phone.
I've never liked picking up the phone.
Top of the head, all those memories where I didn't like picking up the phone.
All those memories when I didn't like picking up the phone to ask for business.
Eyebrow. I didn't like picking up the phone to ask for business.
Didn't like picking up the phone to ask for business.
Corner of the eye. All those memories.
All those memories.
In sales, in real estate.
In sales and real estate.
Under the eye. All that anxiety.
All that anxiety.
Under the nose. No wonder I've got anxiety.
No wonder I've got anxiety.
Chin point. Thinking about calling people.
Thinking about calling people.
Collarbone. I wonder if I can think of one specific memory where I really hated picking up the phone.
I wonder if I can think of one specific memory when I
really hated picking up the phone.
Really hated picking up the phone.
Asking for business.
Asking for business.
Under the arm. I really hated picking up the phone asking for business.
I really hated picking up the phone and asking for business.
So back to the collarbone, can you think of one to the karate chop? Can you think of one?
I can't, but I remember when I first started in real estate, I had this beautiful boss, but he just thought I was so capable that he got me cold calling and door knocking, and I had to achieve this certain number of calls a week. And just the idea that I was calling people that had never heard of Lisa. I was Lisa Brickledge at the time. And yeah.
Where do you feel that in your body when you think of your boss who thought you were so capable and gave you all this cold calling and door knocking?
Throat.
Throat. And is there a colour or a number out of 10?
Purple.
Okay, is it an object or a shape?
Just stuck. Kind of like just lots of different angles.
So even though I've got this 8 out of 10 stuck purple angled shape.
Even though I've got this 8 out of 10 stuck purple angled shape.
Stuck in my throat.
Stuck in my throat.
When I think about that boss.
When I think about that boss.
And how capable he thought I was.
And how capable he thought I was.
And all the pressure he put on me.
All the pressure he put me in.
I had to get a certain amount of cold calls done.
I had to get a certain number of cold calls done.
I had to knock on people's doors.
I had to knock on people's doors.
And people had never heard of me.
And people had never heard of me.
And I had to get their business.
And I had to get their business.
I accept myself and all my fears.
I accept myself and all my fears.
Trapped in my throat.
Trapped in my throat. And remembering that was when my eating disorder was at its peak, so I wasn't thinking clearly.
All the pressure.
All the pressure.
All the confusion.
All the confusion.
I wasn't eating properly.
I wasn't eating properly.
I had an eating disorder.
I had an eating disorder.
All the pressure.
All the pressure.
I felt stuck and it was in my throat.
I felt stuck and it was in my throat.
I accept myself deeply and completely.
I accept myself deeply and completely.
Top of the head. I felt really stuck.
I felt really stuck.
Eyebrow, that 8 out of 10 purple shape in my throat.
That 8 out of 10 purple angled shape in my throat.
Corner of the eye, I felt stuck.
I felt stuck.
Under the eye, I felt really stuck.
I felt really stuck.
Under the nose, all that pressure in my throat.
All that pressure in my chest now.
Yep, okay. Chin, all that pressure in my chest.
All that pressure in my chest.
Collarbone, when that boss thought I was so capable.
And that boss thought I was so capable.
All the pressure of the expectations he had for me.
All the pressure of the expectations he had for me. So he thought I was so much more capable of me than I did. Because he didn't know.
Under the arm. He thought I was so much more capable than me.
He thought I was so much more capable
than I thought
I was.
He didn't know.
He didn't know.
Top of the head, he didn't know about my eating disorder.
He didn't know about my eating disorder.
Eyebrow, I hid that.
I hid that so well.
Corner of the eye, I hid that so well.
I hid that so well.
Under the eye, he thought I was so much more capable than I thought I was.
He thought I was so much more capable than I was. I'm getting all this tingling in my legs now.
Under the nose, all this tingling in my legs.
All this tingling in my legs.
Chin, all this tingling in my legs.
All this tingling in my legs. Ooh. Yep, tingling.
Collarbone, processing and releasing the tingling in my legs.
Processing and releasing the tingling in my legs.
When I remember him thinking I was more capable than I thought I was.
Remembering when he thought I was more capable than I thought I was. ankles.
Under the arm. I hid my eating disorder so well.
I hid my eating disorder so well.
Top of the head, all the tingling in my legs.
All the tingling in my legs.
Eyebrow, processing and releasing the tingling in my legs.
Processing and releasing the tingling in my legs.
Corner of the eye, I hid my eating disorder so well.
I hid my, or was it that I hid how I felt about myself?
Yeah.
So well.
Okay, under the eye. I hid how I felt about myself so well.
I hid how I felt about myself so well.
Under the nose. So how did you feel about yourself?
So how did you feel about yourself? Oh, like, how did I feel? Hopeless. I was so far away from being capable.
Chin point. I felt I was so far away from being capable.
I think I was scared because I'd obviously created this persona. So many people thought I was so together. And here I was just like shaking inside.
Collarbone, all this shaking inside.
It's now gone down to my feet like a warm rush.
This warm rush.
This warm rush.
All this shaking inside.
All this shaking inside.
Processing and releasing.
Processing and releasing.
No one else knows how I'm shaking inside.
No one else knew how I'm shaking inside.
Under the arm, I've created a persona that other people see.
I've created a persona that other people see.
Top of the head, they don't know the truth.
They don't know the truth.
Eyebrow, they don't know how I'm feeling inside.
They don't know how I'm feeling inside.
Corner of the eye, I feel like a fake.
Feel like a fake.
Under the eye, does that land? I feel like a fake.
Yeah.
I feel like a fake.
Yeah, it started tingling and feel like a fake.
Yeah, under the nose, they don't know how I'm really feeling.
They don't know how I'm really feeling.
Chin, I've created this wonderful persona.
I've created this wonderful persona.
Collarbone, they think I'm so capable.
They think I'm so capable.
Under the arm, but I'm shaking inside.
But I'm shaking inside.
They don't know the truth.
They don't know the truth.
I hide it really well.
I hide it really well.
Okay, so take a deep breath. How's that processing? So see how I went fishing with the word fake, because that was coming up for me intuitively, and I wanted to see if it landed, and I asked her if that landed, and she said yes.
Well, because so much of what I was doing at that time was faking it, because no one was able to know what was going on inside.
So how does that feel in your body now with the tingling and the rush and down to
Still a little bit tingling going down into my feet.
So if you say out loud, just tap on the karate chop point and tune in and say out loud, I'm a fake.
I'm a fake.
Other people see me so much more capable than I am.
Yeah, they do.
So how true does that feel? Out of 10.
Maybe 6.
And where do you feel that in your body?
My feet again.
Even though I feel this 6 out of 10 feeling that it's true that I'm a fake.
Even though I feel the 6 out of 10 feeling that it's true that I'm a fake.
That I create this wonderful persona.
That I create this confident persona.
Confident persona, and I'm really shaking inside.
And I'm really shaking inside.
And I feel like I'm a fake.
And I feel like I'm a fake at times.
I accept myself.
I accept myself.
And this feeling.
And this feeling.
And allow my body to process and release it.
And allow my body to process and release it.
All the way down to my feet.
All the way down to my feet.
And out into Mother Earth.
And out into Mother Earth.
I accept myself.
I accept myself.
Deeply and completely.
Deeply and completely.
With all my incapabilities.
With all my incapabilities.
Top of the head. I'm not perfect.
I'm not perfect.
Eyebrow. I'm not perfect.
I'm not perfect.
Corner of the eye. They all think I'm so capable. Under the eye. They all think I'm so capable. Under the nose. This feeling like I'm a fake inside. Chin point. I feel like I'm a fake inside. Collarbone. They all think I'm so capable.
They all think I'm so capable.
But I feel like I'm a fake inside.
But I feel like I'm a fake inside.
Under the arm. I've been hiding this fake feeling.
I have been hiding this fake feeling.
Top of the head. I'm perfectly imperfect.
Perfectly imperfect.
Eyebrow. They all think I'm so capable.
They all think I'm so capable.
Corner of the eye, just like that boss.
Just like that boss.
Under the eye. Feeling that shaking inside, making cold calls.
Feeling that shaking inside, making cold calls.
Under the nose. Hiding how I truly feel.
Hiding how I truly feel.
Chin point. I've got to hide how I truly feel.
Got to hide how I truly feel.
Collarbone. Hiding my eating disorder.
Hiding my eating disorder.
Under the arm. What if they really knew how scared I was?
What if they really knew how scared I was?
Top of the head. What if they really knew how scared I was?
What if they really knew how scared I was?
Eyebrow. Feeling like a fake.
Feeling like a fake.
Corner of the eye. I'm really scared.
I'm really scared.
Under the eye. I feel like a fake.
Feel like a fake.
Under the nose. I am imperfect.
I am imperfect.
Chin point. And it feels like they think I'm perfect.
Feels like they think I'm perfect.
Collarbone. Maybe I'm safe to be imperfect.
Maybe I'm safe to be imperfect.
Under the arm. Maybe it's safe not to hide parts of me.
Maybe it's safe not to hide parts of me.
Top of the head. I'm certainly revealing my fears now.
Certainly revealing my fears now.
Eyebrow. And maybe it's safe to do that.
And it feels safe to do that in this environment.
Corner of the eye. But what if it's not safe in other environments?
What if it's not safe in other environments?
Under the eye. I want to feel safe to be vulnerable.
I want to feel safe to be vulnerable.
In all environments.
In all environments.
Under the nose. I want to feel safe to be imperfect.
I want to feel safe to be imperfect.
Chin. I wonder what it feels like to be incapable.
I wonder what it feels like to be
Incapable.
incapable.
And vulnerable.
And vulnerable.
Chin point. Maybe I'll even get more help
Maybe I'll even get more help
if I reveal my fears
if I reveal my fears
and my scared feelings
and my scared feelings
and the fact that I'm not capable in all
and
situations.
the fact that I'm not capable. So I can get somebody to make phone calls for me.
Maybe I don't. Under the arm, maybe I don't have to do it all myself.
Maybe I don't have to do it all myself.
Top of the head, maybe I don't have to put myself under all that pressure.
Maybe I don't have to make all those cold calls.
Eyebrow.
Maybe things will just happen naturally.
Yeah, corner of the eye. It might even be easier than I think.
Might be even easier than I think.
Under the eye, when I take all the pressure off myself.
I take all the pressure off myself.
Under the nose, I don't have to be always capable.
It's almost like that belief that you have to put yourself out there, get yourself out there to get anywhere. That's what's just popped into my head.
Yep, chin point. You have to put yourself out there to get anywhere.
You have to put yourself out there to get anywhere, and that's been drummed into me from being in sales.
Collarbone. But maybe I don't have to do it with pressure.
Maybe I don't have to do it with pressure.
And maybe it's not always up to me.
Maybe it's not always up to me.
Under the arm, I wonder what that would feel like.
I wonder what that would feel like.
So take a deep breath and some water. How's that feeling now? Is it opening up different areas? So I'm sure there's more layers to work on, but that's sort of shifting the pattern to start with. So let's just do a sneaking away. So back to the karate chop point. Even though I'm feeling much better.
Even though I'm feeling much better.
And maybe I don't have to pressure myself.
Maybe I don't have to pressure myself.
And maybe I don't have to be that capable.
Maybe I don't have to be that capable.
Maybe it can be easy to put myself out there with help.
Maybe it can be easy to put myself out there with help.
When I don't hide the scared parts of me.
When I don't hide the scared parts of me.
I accept myself.
I accept myself.
And this old pattern that's changing.
And this old pattern that's changing.
It might be much easier than I thought.
It might it will be much easier than I thought.
Top of the head. I'm changing the pattern.
Changing the pattern.
Eyebrow. It's going to be much easier than I thought.
It's going to be much easier than I thought.
Corner of the eye, putting myself out there.
Putting myself out there.
Under the eye, putting our business out there.
Putting our business out there.
Under the nose. I don't have to hide parts of myself.
Don't have to hide parts of myself.
Chin point, it's safe to be vulnerable.
It's safe to be vulnerable.
Collarbone, I might even learn more when I'm vulnerable.
Might even learn more when I'm vulnerable.
And get more help.
Get more help.
Under the arm, because I'll ask for it.
Because I'll ask for it.
It doesn't have to be just up to me.
It doesn't have to be just up to me.
Okay, take a deep breath. How does that feel?
Yeah, good.
Good. All right, so we'll work on whatever comes up for you during the week. Tap on it and write down any other memories that come up so that we can work on that next week, and call me back at the same time.
Great.
All right, thank you. Bye.